Welcome into the Boston Red Sox Roundtable right here on CLNS Media. I am your host, Nick Qualia, sitting alongside Mike Stettapani with his first roundtable in quite a while since he just rejoined the team, and we are very happy to have him back. And Adam Ballou. How we doing, boys?
Oh, what's going on, Nick? Happy to be back.
Yes. Happy to have you back, Mike.
All right. And attention, all fantasy football players, because this roundtable, and I believe all of our content going forward for quite a while, is powered by FanDuel. The wait is nearly over because football is back, baby, which in turn means FanDuel is back. FanDuel is huge for the fantasy football everyday fan with new contests every single week, which means absolutely no busted seasons, which busted seasons are the worst, especially for the people who have already drafted Julian Edelman, and he just tore his ACL last week. So absolutely no busted seasons. It's simple, and there is something for everyone with a ton of contests to choose from, starting at just $1. Just pick a contest, choose your team, and watch your scores skyrocket in real time. Personally, for me, I love using FanDuel because it is simple and quick. I don't waste too much time. I hate wasting time in my day. And when I log on, I can just choose my fours and I can go along with my day. When I select my first team for the week, one of the obvious picks that I'm going with is Mike Gillislee because I think the Patriots are going up against a tough defense in Kansas City. And when they get within the red zone, within the 5-yard line, they're gonna hand the ball off to Mike Gillislee. He's gonna power it straight up the middle. Over 2.5 million players have won cash prizes playing fantasy sports on FanDuel. So sign up today by going to FanDuel.com. Click the Join Now button. Use promo code RedSoxBeat, all one word. If you use that code, you get to try FanDuel for free. That's right, I mean for nada, nothing, with absolutely no deposit required. Visit FanDuel.com to claim your free contest and play for a share of $10,000. Just sign up using promo code RedSoxBeat. That's FanDuel.com using promo code RedSoxBeat. Void where prohibited. All right, boys. So the big conversation right now with the Red Sox, who obviously been struggling as of late, but we did see a big power surge offensively before this struggle happened, and a big-time winning streak. Now, that coincidentally came around the same time that the Red Sox lost both David Price and Dustin Pedroia. So the question that came up with a lot of Red Sox fans and writers, are the Red Sox better off this season without David Price and without Dustin Pedroia in the lineup? What do you guys think? Mike, what do you think?
I think they are better right now without David Price and Dustin Pedroia, and this is no shot on Dustin Pedroia. Don't have to worry and answer questions anymore about the Eckersley situation. So I think this season, right now, the Red Sox are better off without Dustin Pedroia and David Price.
Adam?
I can't disagree more. I think it's preposterous for anyone to even think that a team is better off without their starting second baseman who has won an MVP, is a 4-time All-Star, a 3-time Gold Glover, and has 2 championship rings. We'd be better off without him in the lineup. The lineup's that's struggling like mightily right now. And I think it's crazy to think that we're better off without our, second or third best pitcher, who's former Cy Young winner, 5-time All-Star. He's almost 60 games over 500 in his career. I don't understand the logic here. Having Dustin Pedroia back in the lineup does so much for this lineup right now. You can put Brock Holt. We don't have to see Brock Holt again. Maybe we don't have to see Hanley Ramirez again. We can play the Pedroia at DH if we want to. We have more flexibility. I don't want to see Brock Holt every day, but I don't know. He's got something again. He's got something on John Farrell that he must have blackmail or something on John Farrell because we have to see him every day. But I think he's batting 300 right now. We're really talking about having a guy that's batting 300 and our team is going to be better. I don't care about that off the field crap. That stuff will go away if the team performs. If Dustin Pedroia starts hitting again, nobody will talk about what he did like a month ago when he said, I'm the leader of this team. Like, who cares? It doesn't matter. If David Price comes out and pitches well, all that stuff is going to go away. And have we seen the pitching in the last week? They've been terrible. We obviously need another starter. We can't rely on Doug Fister going out there and shutting down teams. We can't. There's no other. I'd rather have him. I'd rather have David Price than Erod right now because Erod sucked lately. So I think it's crazy to think that we could be better off without a former Cy Young winner and a former MVP.
Yeah, and you know what, Adam, I am absolutely with you on this one because I think it is asinine to think David Price, separate story. Dustin Pedroia, of course you need him in the lineup. Of course you need him in the lineup. You know you're not going to get this production from Eduardo Nunez throughout the entire season. Rafael Devers is showing that he is a rookie. He is cooling off. Dustin Pedroia, regardless of what we think, he is a leader to this team because just based on the fact that he has been around for so long. And yeah, Pedroia was hitting very well before he left. It's not like he was struggling hitting 250 and then got hurt and now we're replacing him with a guy who hits about the same. No, we lost a bat in the lineup. The Red Sox lost a bat in the lineup that was hitting 300. He was producing and he was getting on base. And what we saw over the past couple of days is the Red Sox are struggling to get men on base. And the offense is flubbing. I mean, it's just that simple. And if you have a guy who can hit and can hit, of course you need him in the lineup. Of course you need him in the lineup. He has the experience. He has the experience to get through tough parts of the season. He's been through it in 2013. He's won 2 World Series now with the team. And just the fact that he's been here before means more to this team than, than just his bat does alone. And when it comes to David Price, yeah, Doug Fister's been alright. Doug Fister's been a little surprising. But he's the kind of pitcher that if he gives up 5 runs in a game, I'm not shocked by that. That's about what I expect out of him. 5 runs a game, 4 runs a game. I don't expect what we saw yesterday giving up 2 earned. Not at all. David Price, regardless of the playoff record, is a veteran pitcher that you should have in the staff. Whether or not that he's shook right now because of the fans, I think that has a big part to do with why he hasn't pitched in a while, not only because of the elbow, but because of the reaction by the fan base with the Dennis Eckersley situation. I know it's old now, but it still may have a lingering effect on the team and himself. David Price is a former Cy Young Award winner. He still has a ton of talent. He was pitching very well this season before he went down. You need this guy. You need David Price in the rotation, and you need Dustin Pedroia in the lineup. It's that simple.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I think they're both great players in their own right, but I just think that there's no coincidence that the Red Sox started playing better when both these guys went on the shelf. And look, I get it. Dustin Pedroia is a 300 hitter, and he's won numerous things with this team. And David Price can be a good pitcher, but really, has he been a good pitcher in Boston? I really don't think he has. Yes, his track record previously before he came to Boston has been great, but I just think since those two guys have been away from this team and out of the lineup, the Red Sox have been producing way better. And look, maybe I'm being a little bit harder on Pedroia than I should be, but I just think since both these guys have left, the Red Sox have been performing.
Yeah, but this is the question that you have to ask along with the main topic tonight. Do you guys think that if Dustin Pedroia is still in this lineup within this winning streak that they had prior to this weekend, do you think that they don't go on that winning streak? Because that's basically the question here. Adam, what do you think? Do you think if Dustin Pedroia is in this lineup, do you think they still go on that win streak that they had?
Of course they do. I mean, I think the starting pitching was what was really pushing that win streak. I mean, they were getting quality starts from almost everybody, and they were scoring runs. And I mean, who's to say that he's better than Brock Holt? I mean, that's who's playing. That's basically who's in the lineup right now for him. I mean, yes, Holt's knocked around and he's playing, in the outfield now because I don't know why, because they don't want to play Chris Young. But I mean, are we going to say that the team was playing better now that Jackie Bradley's out too? I mean, who else are we going to blame for this? I think the team, you can't tell me that, Dustin Pedroia is the reason that the team won like 15 out of 19. They won those games because they were hitting as a team and they were getting really good starting pitching. I mean, Rick Porcello was pitching great. Chris Sale was dominating. Pomerantz has been pitching really well. Fister has been pitching well. and now they're on this losing streak because their starting pitching has sucked lately, and because they can't hit. So
yeah, but Adam, if Dustin Pedroia is in this lineup, though, Eduardo Nunez isn't in the lineup because I know you keep saying Brock Holt, but it's mainly been him because
you could put the two of them in there at the same time.
Or even Devers.
Yeah, but where? Where? Because you know for whatever reason
you could take Hanley Ramirez out.
Yeah, but what about Mitch Moreland?
You can still play Mitch Moreland at first.
You got to put Mitch Moreland at first.
You can DH Pedroia.
But this whole season, it's clear that they are dedicated to using Hanley's bat for whatever reason.
Well, that's because John Farrell's an idiot. But
yeah, but that's true. But that's what we're dealing with here. That's what we're dealing with here. We're dealing with a moron leading this team. So you got to go with what the moron's going to do.
You can rest Xander Bogaerts, who's been awful.
Yeah, then you have
You
Devers.
don't have anybody to play
Devers
shortstop.
too. It's just always someone. You got Devers, you got Nunez, you got Hanley, you got Moreland. So someone has to come out of the lineup if Pedroia's there.
Yeah, but it gives the team flexibility. I mean, you could take Bogaerts and sit him when he's struggling. You don't have who do you have right now to play short?
Eduardo Nunez. But no,
he's playing second base.
But my main point with that is if Dustin Pedroia is in the lineup, I don't think Eduardo Nunez gets as much playing time as he did. And on that tear the Red Sox were on, he was on his own tear in his own right.
But he's come back down to earth lately.
He has, but we're talking about that wind spurt that they had.
So you think that Pedroia would have been such a huge difference in that wind spurt, in that offensive burst? Because I mean, like I said, the pitching was really good too. So if they didn't score, say Pedroia plays and Nunez doesn't, and they score 7 runs instead of 9. That was still plenty of runs because they were getting really solid pitching.
I'm saying they might lose a game or two without Nunez because Nunez was doing something that Pedroia wasn't doing this season. That was producing power. You had a power bat in the lineup with Nunez. And I'll say it again, Nunez is not playing as much with Dustin Pedroia. If Dustin Pedroia is not hurt, we're not seeing Nunez as much at all.
Or even if you're not seeing Nunez, you're still not seeing Devers at third base, who also was showing power and also helped the team achieve some wins.
That's on the manager, though. If those two guys are hitting and Pedroia is around, he has to get all 3 of those guys in the lineup at the same time. He has to. He said when Pedroia was coming back and Nunez was hot, that he was going to get the 2 of them in the lineup at the same time. So that's on the manager. If Pedroia is here and Nunez isn't playing and Nunez is on a tear, that's Farrell's fault. That has nothing to do with Pedroia. That's Farrell. It's the same thing right now. Moreland hitting like crazy, and he didn't play yesterday. That's Farrell's fault for that. He should be able to figure out a way to get Moreland in that lineup every day. So if Pedroia is here and Nunez or Devers is on the bench because of Pedroia, that's not Pedroia's fault.
Mike, do you have any final thoughts on these topics?
I just think my final thoughts would be I see what Adam's saying, but I just think since Pedroia and Price have been off this roster, the Red Sox have been producing. Can it be sustainable? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see how the rest of the season plays out. But I think it's no coincidence that the Red Sox played a lot better since they put those 2 guys in the disabled list.
Adam?
Well, I think that's hindsight's 20/20. I mean, are we looking at the team that was 15-4? We're looking at the team that's 0-4 right now. You could say that they were playing great without Pedroia and Price, but they've lost 4 in a row. So you look at them right now. Are they playing that great without Pedroia and Price? No. So I think you need both of those guys back. You obviously need reinforcements.
Yeah, overall, my final thoughts are going to be that you do need Dustin Pedroia and David Price in this lineup if you were going to. Not only, you might be able to win the AL East right now with the way that it is, but you may not be able to win it comfortably. With those 2 in the lineup, you may be able to win with maybe a 4-game lead or 5-game lead on the Yankees. Without them, you might win with a game or 2. It might come down to the final week against the Astros. All right, Mike and Adam, thank you guys so much for coming on. Listeners, thank you for listening into the Red Sox Beat Team Roundtable right here on CLNS Media. Thank you very much, everybody, and have a good night.